Let's bring in Maria Bartiromo. Maria, good evening. Your thoughts on this night and the possible impact all of this has when you're talking about the economy?
Well, it's a big impact, Brett and Martha. Good to see you. Right now, what I'm watching is the energy-producing states. I think investors are anticipating a big change should we get this red wave that so many people have been talking about. And so you want to really look at Texas, Wyoming, Pennsylvania, Louisiana, West Virginia, Oklahoma. These are the leading energy-producing states, and it is largely energy policy that will change or at least get slowed down. The Biden climate change agenda slowed down should we see a big GOP win, because it is all about inflation. I would say the root cause of inflation is the COVID-19 relief package passed into law back in March of 2021. So all of that spending, beginning with that March of 2021 package and the other packages that we've seen, has created $5 trillion in borrowing. But it is this climate change agenda that the Biden administration is pushing so aggressively that the Republicans will likely want to change. Republicans will change that energy agenda, especially when it comes to clean energy. They will push back on the climate change agenda. And so that's really where I'm focused tonight. I should point out that the price of oil has skyrocketed since President Biden started selling oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We're talking about oil now back up to the $90 a barrel level, even though gasoline prices are above where they were when Joe Biden took office. Of course, they are lower in the last year, but still elevated. So it is all about inflation. Another issue that investors are watching with regard to the economy is rent. Those essential items, food, fuel, and energy, fuel, and rent are the really main issues that have been a problem for American families. Rent has not stopped rising, so we continue to see rent as a major issue. Food prices off of their highs, although you're still talking about, for example, a dozen eggs up 30% in price year over year. So the issue is inflation. Within inflation, I'm looking at energy, and tonight investors will want to see real success from the GOP in those energy-producing states to feel that we will see a change. That's going to be one of the main issues that Republicans take on. Also, of course, fiscal spending. I mentioned the COVID relief package and all of the other spending, $5 trillion in borrowing. If the Republicans can get a victory in a number of these states, we will likely see fiscal spending slow down. And that is also something that investors will be focused on tomorrow. I will say this. If we see a big win by the GOP, expect a big rally in stocks tomorrow. The next big catalyst for markets and the economy comes Thursday, when we get the next consumer price index out. That's going to be for the last month, the month of October. And even though we are off of the highs, when you look at the last several months, you're still talking about expectations of between 8 and 9% increases in consumer prices over the last year over year.
Let me just say that if you were listening to Maria 2016, late in the night, you made a lot of money. You made a lot of money. So quickly, Maria, does the market like divided government?
The market does like divided government, and that's what we're likely to see if, in fact, this pans out. If the Republicans are in charge of the House and Senate and the Democrats are in charge of the White House, what does that mean? It means not a lot gets done. And investors like that. They don't want to see higher taxes. They certainly don't want to see $80 billion going to the IRS to hire 87,000 IRS agents. That's something that Kevin McCarthy has been talking about a lot. That's one of his priorities to overturn if in fact, we see him take the gavel. And so that, along with taxes, if the GOP wins again in a big way tonight, you don't expect tax increases for the next 2 years at least. So that's another thing that markets will celebrate. I would expect a pretty good day in the markets if the GOP has a good night tonight.
All right, Maria, as always, thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.